In today's video, we'll be comparing similar fragrances to each other, and I'll be letting you guys know which one you should go for if you're interested in one or the other. So let's go ahead and get into the video. Before we get into the video, I do want to quickly introduce myself for those of you who may be new here. My name is Ayesha. I make videos about fragrance, beauty, luxury, and lifestyle. If those are things you're interested in, please consider subscribing. And if you are a returning subscriber, hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. About a year ago, I did a series called This, That, or Both. However, I didn't do many videos in that series because honestly, y'all weren't watching them. Y'all are not really here for single fragrance videos or even double fragrance videos like my This, That, or Both series. So what I decided to do this time is it's going to be like a This, That, or Both. So basically we'll talk about each of the fragrances that I'm comparing, and I'll tell you, which one will probably work better for you based on certain things. But we're going to talk about 4 different sets of fragrances. So this is like a This, That, or Both roundup. That may sound very confusing, but basically we're just comparing some similar fragrances. So let's go ahead and just get into the video. So we're going to start out with Black Opium. So I have the new Black Opium Illicit Green, and I want to compare that to the regular YSL Black Opium. Now, I know I have a sample, and I don't believe that you can do a full-on review if you've only had a sample. However, I've worn Black Opium for years. I'm out of my current bottle, but I found a sample to use for this video. But believe me, I know Black Opium. Like I said, I've gone through multiple bottles. I just don't have a bottle in my collection right now. Anyway, we'll start with the original Black Opium. So this fragrance is a sweet caramel and coffee scent. To me, the coffee in this smells kind of like a latte, but overall I get a lot of caramel, a lot of sweetness, quite sugary, a little bit of florals, and it's just to me a very beautiful scent. Now I know Black Opium doesn't get the love like it used to, but I still happen to really like the way Black Opium smells. Now I've moved past it because, like I said, I've worn it for way too long, so I really just don't feel the need to wear it anymore. But I do still think it's a gorgeous scent, and I don't like when people say trashy people only wear Black Opium. I don't understand that. This is beautiful to me, a very sweet gourmand scent. Now, the new version, Illicit Green, just came out probably like a month or so ago, and this was sent to me kindly from Influencer in YSL Beauty. I'm not required to make a video on this, so I'm just sharing this because I know a lot of you all are interested in this, and I was actually like intrigued when I saw this was coming out. So this to me smells like the original Black Opium. However, it is more fresh, a little bit more green. I believe it has notes of like fig and mandarin added to it, if I remember correctly. But overall, I get Black Opium, but lighter, less sweet, a little bit more green, and a little bit more fresh. Now, normally at this point in the video, I would talk about differences in packaging, and I don't have the package here, but I will pop up a picture of the Black Opium bottle. Y'all all know what it looks like. But Black Opium bottle has the pink insert, whereas the Illicit Green has this green insert. Other than that, the bottles are exactly the same, so I feel like they are the same as far as packaging. No winner here. Now, as far as longevity and projection, I do feel like these two fragrances perform very similarly. I do think that the original Black Opium is a little bit more projecting when you first spray it. However, as you wear it, it does die down. And I feel like Black Opium Illicit Green kind of stays at one level for most of the time that you wear it. I don't think that either one of these fragrances are beasts per se, but they are definitely going to be smelled on you, especially if you overspray. I don't think that these are skin scents. I actually think they have pretty good projection. And as far as longevity, I am able to get about the same amount of time out of both of these. I would say I can smell it on myself for at least about 6 hours. So I think that's actually pretty good when it comes to these two scents. Now, when it comes to pricing for these two, they're actually the same. Black Opium Original does come in more sizes. I think it comes in a large, like 5-ounce bottle, if I remember correctly. But just comparing the 1-ounce bottle, which is what I have, they both retail for $78. All right, so now I'm gonna tell you if you should get this, that, or both. In my opinion, you definitely don't need both of these. They smell so similar. When I actually wore this one, One of my coworkers smelled it and she thought I was wearing the original Black Opium. She said they smelled the same. But then when I passed by her, she did say, no, actually it smells different. So I do think it's a bit different. So I definitely think that you don't need both. But if you have to pick between these two, I would say if you like more sugary sweet things, then go for the original. I don't really think there was much need for this version because it is so similar to the original. And even though it has different notes, they don't really stand out that much. Now, do I like this new one? I absolutely do. And will I wear this? I absolutely will. But I definitely don't think you need both. And because the original was already out, I don't really see the point of this one. However, I will be wearing this one because this is the one I have now. So hopefully that helps you guys. Do I think you need both? Definitely not. If you're only gonna go for one and you like really sweet things, then go for Black Opium. If you like something a little less sweet, but you still want a sweeter coffee caramel fragrance, then go for Illicit Green. Next up, we're going to talk about a fragrance that came and like shocked everybody when it came out. It kind of came out of the blue. And this is Flowerbomb Ruby Orchid. So this is the newest addition to the Flowerbomb family. Now, I, again, used Flowerbomb for years. It was my type of scent. I loved it. I no longer had a full bottle, but because I knew I wanted to compare them, I went out and got a travel size of the original Flowerbomb so we could compare these two. But I also picked up Nectar because I had heard that Nectar was close to Ruby Orchid as well. So we got 3 bottles here. Now, of course, these are travel sizes and this is a full bottle, but I will pop up pictures of the original. This one basically looks just like the original bottle, except it's darker in color. This is more of a like magenta color, whereas the regular Flowerbomb is this lighter pink color. And then Nectar, I will pop a picture up. Pretty similar, except this one kind of has that squat looking bottle. Overall, I think all the bottles are beautiful, but I definitely prefer these 2 bottles as opposed to the Nectar bottle. I just think they look better. All right, so for smell, we're going to talk about the original Flowerbomb first. So to me, this is a blast of florals, but make it sweet and add a little patchouli to it. Now, the patchouli in this is not too deep, it's not too earthy, it's actually very smooth, but it gives it a good amount of depth. I love Flowerbomb because I feel like it's a great combination. It's a great way to wear florals that are not too sharp. This is more of a sweetened, I won't say quite syrupy floral, but it's definitely a sweetened floral that has some patchouli in there. It's just a really pretty scent in my opinion. And it's one that I used to actually wear out for date night back in the day. To me, it has enough depth to it that it can be worn day or night. Next up is Flowerbomb Nectar. Now this one I have not previously worn. I actually purchased this to be able to try out for this video. And it does smell very similar to the original Flowerbomb. However, it is definitely sweeter. And it has this gunpowder note that I kind of feel like you can smell more in the opening. I think it kind of gives it a bit of a metallic smell, not a lot, but a bit of a metallic smell. And I've heard some people can't really get down with that, but I actually happen to really like this. This one to me is definitely more syrupy sweet, more weighed down than the original Flowerbomb. Again, I do think this will work well for day or night, but I think this will be better in colder weather because it is, like I said, more syrupy sweet. And now that brings us to Ruby Orchid. So Ruby Orchid to me smells quite similar to the original Flowerbomb, but it is sweeter in my opinion. So it has kind of those same floral tones, but it has a fruity sweetness to it. I believe peach is a fruit that was added into this fragrance. To me, this doesn't smell like peach. To me, whatever fruits they put in this just gave it a fruitier, kind of syrupy sweet smell that the original Flowerbomb does not have. Now, when you compare it to Nectar, I do think the syrupy sweetness of them are similar. However, I definitely think Nectar is a lot sweeter and a lot like thicker, whereas Ruby Orchid to me is a lot of a thinner. It smells thinner when you wear it. Like it doesn't smell overpowering even though it is sweet. I also think the florals are a little bit dialed down. So to me, this is more of a fruity floral, whereas original Flowerbomb is more of a floral. Hopefully that makes sense. Overall, all 3 are beautiful scents. And when we're talking about projection and longevity, I think all of these have decent longevity. Projection, the winner definitely goes to the original Flowerbomb. I do know that the original Flowerbomb can actually be overpowering for a lot of people because it is kind of a lot, especially if you overspray it. So I don't typically overspray Flowerbomb because I find that people smell it on you from like 6 feet away. So the original Flowerbomb to me has the most projection. When it comes to Nectar and Ruby Orchid, I feel like the projection is just a little bit less. Ruby Orchid definitely sits a little closer to the skin. I feel like Nectar is in between, so it projects a little bit more than Ruby Orchid. But overall, I think these two are very similar when it comes to projection. And as far as longevity, I feel like I get good longevity out of all three. I would say at least about 6 hours out of all three, but projection to me is definitely a lot more in the original Flowerbomb as compared to these two. But the projection to me is definitely the most in the original Flowerbomb, followed by Nectar, and then closely followed behind by Ruby Orchid. All right, price. So we're gonna be talking about the 3.4 ounce bottle just so we can compare apples to apples. 3.4 ounces of Ruby Orchid is $168, same as the original Flowerbomb Eau de Parfum. But the Nectar is definitely more expensive. The largest size that it comes in is the 3 ounce bottle, so less fragrance, and that retails for $175. So Nectar is definitely the most expensive out of the three. All right, so we're at the this, that, or both point. And I guess in this case, it would be this, that, or all three. I don't know. But I would say if I had to pick out of these three, the one that I would go with is actually Ruby Orchid. Now, originally when I got Ruby Orchid, I kind of was like, this smells so similar to the original Flowerbomb. Why do you need both? You don't need both. I don't think that you need both original Flowerbomb and Ruby Orchid, nor do I think that you need both Nectar and Ruby Orchid. I think all of these smell quite similar, but I feel like Ruby Orchid is the better version of these combined. Now, of course, I feel like Flowerbomb is a legend. I'm not saying throw away your Flowerbombs and go get the new version. Like, it's not that serious. However, at this point in my life, I feel like I've worn so much Flowerbomb that I like that this one is a little bit different. I like that it sits closer to the skin. I like that it's never going to be overpowering. And I like that I can wear this year round. So to me, I'm just loving the newer version. And even though I really like these two as well, I feel like this is just the best out of the three. Also, when you look at the price of Nectar compared to the price of the other two, I don't really see why Nectar has a higher price point. Now, granted, you can probably find these two on discounter sites. I'm just talking about retail, but you can probably find these two on discounter sites, whereas this one you're probably only going to be able to find at like Sephora and those type places. So just keep that in mind. This next set of fragrances I've actually been meaning to compare for you all for well over a year, but I'm just now getting around to it. And since I was doing this roundup, I went ahead and decided to include it anyway, even though most of y'all probably don't care about this anymore. But we are talking about YSL Libre EDP Eau de Parfum versus the Intense. So first we'll talk about the original. So this fragrance is a lavender vanilla scent. However, the lavender is definitely way more prominent. So to me, this is a fresh like lavender mixed with some orange blossom and I believe jasmine as well. And there is vanilla in the background that kind of just gives it something to hold on to. Now, this one to me actually smells a little bit spicy as well as aromatic. So it kind of smells like there could be ginger in this, even though ginger is not a note. But the spiciness that you get from ginger, that little twang, it kind of smells like that could be in this fragrance as well. Now, Libre is one that had to grow on me. I did not always love it, but I do actually love it now. Now, as for Libre Intense, this is the darker juice one. This one has more vanilla in it, sweetens it up, more orange blossom. You still have that beautiful lavender in there. You can definitely smell the original YSL Libre DNA, but when it opens, there is a lot of orange blossom and a lot of vanilla. So it's definitely like smoother, silkier. I actually think this one is probably the more likable fragrance profile because I think regular Libre can be off-putting for a lot of people when they first spray it. Whereas when you first smell Intense, I feel like it's just more of a well-known scent profile. Kind of reminds me of Safonat from Parfums de Marly or Classique Essence de Parfum from Jean Paul Gaultier. Kind of reminds me of those types of fragrances, but the lavender is still in there. They're not dupes by any means, but it does remind me of those, and I think that's why this one seems to be more acceptable to a lot of you all out there. Now, when it comes to packaging on these two, of course, they are the same. They look the same. They're both beautiful, so no difference in that. When it comes to price, again, they are the same. So for the 1 ounce bottle of each of these, they retail for $85. Now, as far as longevity and projection, I think these perform pretty much the same. On both of these, I get about 6 to 8 hours of wear. With projection, I do think that the regular Libre, the Eau de Parfum, does project more initially, and it's probably just because it's more of a sharp, fresh scent, whereas this one sits just a tad bit closer to the skin. Again, I think they're pretty similar, and I don't think projection or longevity is a problem on either one of these fragrances. So let's talk about if you should get this, that, or both. Now, honestly, I have both of them, right? I got the OG first, and then I smelled the Intense in the store, and I was like, oh, this one smells so good too. And I thought that they were both similar enough to have both. However, my thoughts have changed, because once you wear the Intense, to me, after about 2 hours, it turns into original Libre. And for me, that's kind of a problem, because there's kind of no point in this. It doesn't keep the same scent profile throughout the time. And of course, a lot of us like scents that change over time. I get that. But you already have the regular Libre. So I don't see the point of the Intense. And so what I'm going to say is probably different than what a lot of people say, but I think if you're going to get one or the other, I would go for the OG. I do like the smell of the Intense, but again, I don't think it's as unique as the OG. And after about 2 hours, you get the OG anyway. So I don't really see the point of me having the Intense. I actually planned on selling it quite a while ago, but I never did because I wanted to compare them for you. I do wear them both. I do switch them out because I kind of feel like they're interchangeable. But honestly, I prefer the OG when it comes to this duo. Don't at me, because I know y'all love the Intense version. Just kidding. All right, and this last duo is a little bit different because one of these is a fragrance and the other one seems to be a clone. Even though this fragrance house doesn't necessarily say they do clones, I mean, it seems pretty obvious to me. So we're talking about Oud for Greatness from Initio and Oud for Glory by Latafa. So as you can see, bottles look pretty similar. I'll show you Oud for Greatness up close. Very detailed. Love all the, detail they have on here. I love the black and gold packaging. It feels very heavy, high quality. And then we have Oud for Glory. Again, it feels very heavy and high quality. Of course, this to me doesn't look as good as Oud for Greatness, but I can appreciate the effort they put into the packaging on this, because this is an inexpensive fragrance. So I think both of them are nice packaging. I definitely prefer Oud for Greatness just because it looks better, but both are nice. So Oud for Glory is this rich, sweet saffron, spicy oud scent. So the oud in this is prominent, but it is so well done. It's so smooth. I feel like this is an easygoing oud as long as you can get with this scent profile. But to me, the saffron is really the star of this show. It is sweet, it's spicy, it's smooth, and it's there. It's like a standout note to me. This is really beautiful. It's intoxicating. I love the way this smells. And it's something that you kind of have to smell in person to get it. It has been compared to Baccarat Rouge 540. And I can get the comparison because it kind of has that airy kind of sweetness thing that Baccarat has going on. The saffron smells similar to Baccarat, but to me, they are not the same at all. This is so much deeper, so much richer, completely different fragrance, but they do share that saffron note, and I think that's where the comparison comes from. So that's Oud for Greatness. And then we have Oud for Glory. And I would tell you it smells very similar. Very, very similar. Now, I actually got Oud for Glory first. Previously, we didn't have anywhere in my area to smell Oud for Greatness. I tried Oud for Glory. I didn't know at the time that it was a dupe for Oud for Greatness. But once I got it, I found out it was a dupe, but I didn't care. Like, it smells really good. It smells very similar to Oud for Greatness. However, at the opening, to me, it is not as striking as Oud for Greatness. I'm gonna get these mixed up. So let's just call it Initio and Latafa, okay? So Latafa is not as striking as Initio at the opening. When you smell them side by side, one smells like nothing and the other one smells like everything. That's what I'm pretty much gonna say. Now, as they dry down, I do think they do become a lot more similar. Initio is still way more prominent to me than Latafa, especially that beautiful saffron note. But I do think at the late dry down, they do smell quite similar. They're not 100% the same, but I think that they smell similar enough that if you were wearing the Latafa version, somebody might mistake it for the Initio version. Now, when it comes to projection and longevity, Oud for Greatness is pretty much beast mode like no other in my collection. It is so strong. I cannot overspray this. It lasts all day. Like, I'm talking like 10, 12 hours at least on this fragrance. Now, of course, you get a lot of projection at the very beginning, but I feel like this projects like most of the wear, honestly. I don't think this turns into a skin scent until at least like after 10 hours. Like, this to me lasts a lot. This is not one I would ever overspray because I think it could be like sickening if you sprayed too much and you had to be stuck with it for that long. As for the Latafa version, Oud for Glory, this one actually projects pretty well as well. Now, it doesn't beat out Initio by any means because I feel like this is just abnormally projecting. But this one does project pretty well. People will smell it on you. You can overspray this one a little bit because, like I said, it doesn't start out as like striking as Oud for Greatness. It's not going to be as in your face. So you can kind of overspray this one. I don't really feel the need to, but it does last long, like at least 10 plus hours. It's just not as out there as the Initio version. Now, price. This one has a range of prices. I've seen it anywhere from like $30 to about $60. And that's a 100 ml bottle. The Initio version, this is a 90 ml bottle, if I remember. Yes, 90 ml bottle. This retails for $375. So, should you get this, that, or both? So I'm gonna say, for me, I'm going with Initio because I just love the smell of it. It's way richer. It is the OG, and I think there's something to be said about that. I mean, I know all brands copy each other in any type of industry, but this is just such a blatant copy. And I don't know how I feel about clones. I'm not even gonna talk about that because to each his own, I really don't care. But overall, I think this is just a better scent. It smells a lot better. It smells a lot richer. However, do I think this is a great scent? I definitely do. And I had this one first, and I didn't know that Oud for Greatness was that much better than this. So if you don't know about Oud for Greatness, then you don't know about it. So in that case, Oud for Glory may be a good option for you because this is very, very expensive. Very expensive. And definitely not something you should blind buy. It's not going to be for everybody. It's not going to be an everyday scent, in my opinion. And so I don't think that everybody should be going out spending this kind of money on this fragrance. Now, you spend your money how you want to, but I think if you're just like the average fragrance user, go for Latafa. For me, it's Initio, but Latafa is beautiful as well. And even though I kind of like, when I was comparing them, I was kind of like beaten up on Latafa. It's only because when you smell them side by side, you can definitely smell the difference. But if you've never smelled the Initio, then I think you would be happy with this one, honestly. It is still a very nice scent. I just happen to prefer this one. So that was my roundup of my this, that, or both. Please, in the comments, let me know if you like this format or if you want me to just stick to like 2 fragrances per video like I used to do. I actually prefer to do it like that just because I feel like I can focus more on the 2 fragrances. But I know those videos don't get a lot of views. So let me know what you guys think. Was this okay, or do you prefer me to just stick to 2 fragrances per video? I would love to know your opinion on that. If you have any of these fragrances and you agree or respectfully disagree, definitely leave that down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Also, make sure you subscribe and follow me over on Instagram. I always like to give y'all sneak peeks of things over there. And sometimes we have some informal conversations about fragrances over there that I really don't put on YouTube. So definitely check me out on Instagram. I hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.